See, chemistry was my easiest A star. You might be thinking, how? 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 What? It was so easy. It was easy once I understood what I had to do. The thing is, when it comes to chemistry, you need to understand, especially like A-level chemistry, it operates the same way every single year, every single paper. Paper 3 is a bit rogue, but we don't talk about her. We'll get there when we get there. But Specialty Chemistry Paper 1 is very simple. All you really need to do is know the method of how to do the questions and then keep repeating that. And that's the nature of the paper. So with that in mind, let me give you my last minute advice for A-Level Chemistry Paper 1. Today's video is a bit different because I'm not just going to give you my steps, I'm giving you a bonus. And that bonus comes over here. I have a bunch of questions that I want to ask you guys, just a little bit, okay, a bit of a teaser essentially. And I want you guys to put your answers in the comment section so you can check with each other. I will not be answering or replying to them. I think by time that is like the night before the chem exam, I'll have a look and I'll heart the ones that are correct. So put your answers down below, okay? So the reason why I've singled out these specific stuff is because that's where it can differentiate between marks or grades, you know? And they're really, really important. So let's go through it firstly. We got redox titrations. So I've given you an example of what I mean by that sticky note, but I'm essentially saying that if you've worked out the moles of here, the I2, do you or do you not use the same mole for 3I2? Or would you times these moles over here by 3 to then transfer it to 3I2? That's my question. Do you change it or do you leave it alone? Next question is in RTP. When specified, the reactions done at RTP, you need to find temperature value and they haven't given it to you. What value are you going to use? And in ionization energy, which electron is the hardest to remove, and why is that the case? And then when it comes to enthalpy, why is it that we always specify 1 mole of blah, blah, blah? What significance does it have to the calculations? Does it change the way we do our final calculation to get that answer or not? And in enthalpy change reactions, will you do the subtraction order based on what the question wants or where or how the data was supplied? So if the question wants, oh my god, work out the enthalpy change of formation, but you have combustion values in the table, how are you going to do the order? Are you going to do reactants minus products or products minus reactants? And are you going to do it based on this or based on that? My last question is, what is the most important thing to realise when you work this question out? Determine the initial rate of reaction. What do you think the important thing is that most people will not see? So that should tease your brain, tickle your brain almost. And now let's get into the steps. So number 1, I already said this before, but realising how the A-level operates. Just know how to do each question, keep repeating them, simple. You're going to get the marks, easy. And if you want extra resources, I have my A star checklist where I go through, again, very niche stuff, because that's, to get an A or an A star, especially that A star, you need to really make sure all the niche stuff are catered to. And not only do you know everything, but you can hack all the discriminating questions. So look at that video you haven't already. Now, if you're wondering, oh my god, what YouTubers do I use? Or where do I get my resources from? Where do I get my questions from? Whatever, then look at these 2 videos, okay? I have a playlist called How to Revise, I believe. It has all the videos, so if you want, go have a look. It's all there for free, just sharing my knowledge. I just want to help you guys, so definitely do use it if you want to. Now the second step is just do every single question under the sun. So my phrase, my motto, the way I used to live in year 13 was live, laugh, my chem guy. Quite simply, he is beauty, he is grace, he is Mr. My chem guy, United States. Um, he is just incredible. I can't stress to you how much I love this guy and how much I, dedicate my A star to him. He has literally everything to do with chemistry. All the exam question walkthroughs, life changing, life altering. Sometimes I would dream about his videos. That was a bit sad, but I really embodied what he was saying in the videos. They really helped. So if you want to do exam questions but you don't want to do it alone, my chem guy for life, okay? But now this is I really, really need you guys to all look into what I'm going to say right now because no one will tell you this. If you've run out of past papers or questions, fine, not a problem. But I want to introduce you to something. They're called the legacy papers. Now, I can't speak for AQA or EdXL because I don't know how relevant they are. But as someone who did OCR, more specifically OCR A, I'm going to tell you right now that so many of the questions in the legacy papers have come up in the current spec. My NMR question in 2023, I don't know if it was paper 2 or paper 3, was directly lifted off a legacy paper. Why do I know that? Because I've already seen the question before. When doing the normal past papers, have I seen questions that I've, done before, but I've never done that paper in my life? Yes, I have. Why? Because the examiners are so lazy and the exam board is so lazy, they literally screenshot the questions and put it in. What is going on? I don't understand. But that's the law. Like, it's crazy to fathom, but it's the truth. They literally get questions from here and put it in our papers. Because when we say legacy, I mean old spec, if I haven't said that already. There are so many papers. Years worth. All you need to do is just have a little wander around, see what interests you, and do those questions, okay? So my chem guy and legacy papers, but I'm saying legacy papers if you've run out. If you haven't done the normal past papers, that I don't know what you're doing at this point, go do them ASAP, and then if you run out, then jump onto here, okay? And my next step is making frameworks because you can afford to do it, because the questions don't change. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. They don't change. Open up the past 5 years worth of past papers. Do you see any variation? In general. No, you don't. That's why the grade branches keep increasing, right? Because everyone's doing better. So here are some stuff that I would start off with if I didn't already have any frameworks, if I wanted to adapt any, or just go over stuff. So we've got redox titrations, entropy calculation, methodology, bonding and structure questions, rate determining step, equations, working out orders of reactions, all types of acid basic questions, buffers, 100%, Cassadova salt, all day, every day, colour changes, etc. But remember, these are just some examples for you to start off with. So just be like, oh my god, when I get a redox titration, I'm going to start off with calculating moles. Oh my god, when I am doing bonding and structure, I'm going to state whether it's giant ionic. I'm going to state whether it's metallic. I'm going to state whether there are metallic bonds. Do you get what I mean? It's just easy stuff. Like, you just write that all the time. And that's pretty much all you really need to do. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the exam board, in my eyes, actually wants to see you win. That's why grade branches keep increasing, because everyone knows how to do it. And these guys aren't changing anything. Every time, every year, we think, oh my god, the exam board's going to change it. They never do. They never do. So relax, it's all good. You're going to be fine. Just memorize and do the questions. You'll be sorted. And shout out to my dad. I know he's watching this. But at the start, I think it was January of year 13, something happened. And I was just like, not doubting myself, but I was just thinking, I don't know, just thinking some thoughts. And then he was like to me, do not sell your future cheaply. That stuck with me. And now I'm in dental school, and it's something that I repeat to myself every day. Absolutely love this phrase. So thanks, Dad. Um, yeah, listen, this little temporary um, stress. I don't mean little. I mean, I know how stressful it is. I lost my appetite for weeks. Anyways, yeah, this stressful time and stuff will soon be over. Let's be so frank. It's going to be done in less than a month. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can confirm it. Okay, you're going to be so fine. Just literally follow what I said. Okay, I mean, look, I never started off with an A star, but then after implementing what I tell you guys from the start of year 13, I did a whole U-turn from year 12, and I never got below an A star in any of my topic tests and stuff. Because I mean, chemistry is really easy when you know what to do, and that's just doing questions, memorizing the frameworks for it, and being able to apply it, and making sure you know all these niche stuff so you can get into the high marks and high grades. Okay? Just remember, guys, don't sell your future cheaply. Okay? This is all a temporary period of time, and soon you'll be flourishing in summer. So remember that, okay? Anyways, I hope that video was useful. If you have any suggestions for me, let me know. And as always, not remind me, but tell me, sorry, tell me how the exam goes. And yeah, I hope this works for you, just like how it worked for me. And I shall see you in the next video. Bye now.